Hey everyone, well it's just been Bathurst obviously, and it's been run one and it's by FPR again, so yeah, pretty cool that that we can keep the trophy at our workshop for another year at least, and you should be in bed, buddy. But yeah, great that that Chaz obviously had a win, and yeah, and it's great that we keep the trophy. So all in all, good weekend. Also good to be back qualifying at the front of the grid and actually having good car speed. So yeah, good weekend. But yeah, I'll jump straight into it. There's a lot of good questions, so I'll get into it. Can you explain how cars are lap down get back on the lead lap with the safety cars? At Bathurst, it's quite easy to get your lap back, but I'm surprised that some people did, to be honest. Normally, the protocol is when there's like an accident, so say someone's in the fence, normally the safety car gets deployed, the safety car comes out on the track, and then the recovery crew go and get the cars and push them out. But at Bathurst, for some reason, they were pushing cars out before the safety car was even deployed. So yeah, it actually helped some people. They could come in, put fuel in the car, get fuel in hand, and join the back of the safety car. So it's quite bizarre how yeah, how it worked out, but that's how they get their lap back. They wait till everyone pits. The safety car lets the car through because it's effectively a lap down, not leading. It goes around the track, joins onto the back, and gets the lap back. So yeah, there's ways to strategize. If that was a normal round, there's no chance of getting your lap back. So Bathurst is quite unique in the way you can do it. What is your honest opinion of Lowndes' costly dive bomb? Yeah, I'm not massively impressed with it, but at the same time, there'd be points where I run into him, I'm sure. You know, if I spin him out, you know, I don't expect the backlash from all the Lowndes fans. So, you know, I cop it. It's one of those things you get turned around. But yeah, I'm sure he'll have to cop it if it ever happens in return. And all his fans should as well. You know, normally you have contact with him and everyone's in an uproar. You know, he come up, spoke about it, whatever the reason, good or bad. Is what it is. He cost himself just as he cost me. So yeah, is what it is. You cop it. But at least Chaz won. That was the redemption, really, to see him win the race. That was the that was a good bit of karma, I guess, that that made our team win over theirs. What are your thoughts on Whincup running out of fuel? Did he seem to just get too arrogant and ignore the team? What was the feeling in pit lane when it became obvious he wasn't going to make it? Yeah, you get told fuel numbers. There's always an error in the fuel numbers. So the way it works, when you cross the start-finish line, you get a little number on your dash. It can be plus or minus. You know, I was told to save fuel. I had to hit a number, but I always come in a little bit under that number because there's always an error in the fuel numbers. So if they're saying you're getting close on fuel, you're definitely going to be close on fuel. They're very conservative. So I'm surprised he didn't conserve fuel, probably before the safety car more so than after. He had a massive chance to save fuel. So yeah, I'm surprised, to be honest. But at the same time, I respect the way that he went about it. That was pretty cool to see a guy just that focused on winning. If he had ran out of fuel, that's 0 points. And you know, that's championship deciding stuff. So he actually took it on board, went for the win, and fell short. But yeah, it's pretty good to see him do the you know, do the aggressive thing and try and win it. So that was actually pretty cool. Was Super Black using any new Go Fast bits from FPR like how Xbox did last year? Now, Super Black actually ran everything that we had. So our cars were fast, and they were actually really fast. They were unlucky not to finish in the top 6 probably. So they did a really good job, stayed out of trouble. The strategy favours teams that qualified at the back because they kept pitting, but at the end of the race, they were actually one of the quickest cars. So yeah, really impressive job by Pedersen and Heimgartner, and hopefully that gets them into the series full time now, because that was a pretty impressive effort. How are you feeling about the championship at this stage? It's getting tough. I think it's about 300 points, and Bathurst was a good opportunity. If that red flag hadn't have come out, Triple A had tail shaft issues, and they pretty well rebuilt the car on the grid. So I took the chance of a DNF away. If you had ran out of fuel at the end, would have been perfect. But yeah, it's going to be tough now. But maximum attack, you just get real aggressive, and we'll just have a crack and see what happens. But it's probably our fault. We lost too many points in the last couple of rounds, and if we're good enough, we'll fight back. It's actually nice to have speed again. So hopefully that continues, and we can fight, put pressure on, and you don't give up. You give up when the flag stops. So we'll keep trying. Are you gutted that you couldn't be on the podium, but are you glad Chaz won? Yeah, I'm gutted. I think any result at Bathurst is a good one. If we had have got on the podium, that would have been really cool, and to stand there with Chaz would have been really cool as well. So it's a shame, but at the same time, at Bathurst, you remember first place, and then, to be honest, I wouldn't have a clue who finished second or third in the last 10 years. So it's about the winner, and that's so good that Chaz won, because he's a genuinely good bloke, and he's a great teammate, and he's 22. I can't believe he's 22 and he won at Bathurst. So awesome for him, and awesome for the team as well. So just if you could stand with him, would have been cool. But you're with him anyway. The whole team's with him, so it was good to see him win. How will you feel if Ford pull out an FPR change manufacturer? It's a tricky one. Obviously, very passionate about Ford, and only ever driven Ford my whole life. But there's only so much a team can do, and if Ford, make a decision or whatever happens, that's out of our control. So for me, I think it's important they stay there. It's such a good, when you're at Bathurst, you see all the people wearing Ford gear and waving flags, and there's so much passion for Ford. It'd be really silly if they left. So hopefully it happens, and I want to stay running Ford. I love the brand and love the people who support Ford, and I'm part of Ford. So hopefully it happens, and the rest is out of my hands anyway. What were your thoughts on the whole weekend? How it went for you? Pit stops, changeovers, anything you could have improved on? Our weekend was really good. It's one of the probably best weekends we've ever had. We had no issues on the lead up. Everything went trouble free. Steve Owen was doing great laps in practice, and qualified in the front row. Everything was looking good. Pretty good start, running at the front. Everything was looking good, but the biggest thing that hurt us was probably the red flag. To be able to service your cars in a red flag is ridiculous. I don't know why they allow that in the rules. I think it's absolutely stupid that they do that, because, to be honest, if it's a red flag, they should park for the cars and not be allowed to touch them. But you're not allowed to change driver, you're not allowed to add fuel, you're not allowed to change tyres, but you can change starter motors, you can change tail shafts, you can change brakes, you can change everything, and that's ridiculous. Our category is the only category in the world that allows that to happen, and it's an absolutely stupid rule. So hopefully they can do something about that. But I've never seen a red flag happen, and I've never seen people work on cars. So that was probably the biggest thing that affected the whole race and the outcome of it, because we were in a really good position, and when it stopped, we warped our re-brake rotors, and a couple of things happened. So that was one of the big issues, and then other than that, everything else went pretty good, to be honest. So the red flag was probably our biggest setback. What do you think about FPR saying you had priority over Mostert, yet they double stacked you, which in my opinion cost you the race? You wouldn't have been in the position for Laos to tap you. No, it's a tough one. We should have strategized better. So then Chaz wasn't in front of us. We were the lead car all day, he put in a big stint, and Steve lost a bit of ground in his last stint. That got him in front of us, and he ended up winning the race. So to sacrifice his race for me would have been tough, but that's the issue with having two good guys of the team. So he went on and won the race, and if he had moved over, he probably wouldn't have. So it is what it is. But we needed to strategize better. But you try not to race the teammates, because at the same time you want both cars to go well. And if you start focusing on each other, then it becomes an internal battle, not us against them. So just the way it worked out. But we could have done a better job at strategizing probably. But when you have 11 or 12 safety cars as well, I don't know how you strategize for that, because that's every time one come out, that ruined our strategy. So and put people back in the game who were probably out. So you can't count on them. They're just lucky or unlucky. Since Channel 7 failed to go anywhere near you guys all day, what work did your team do to the cars during the race suspension? Our team didn't do a massive amount, because I only just hopped back in the car at that point, so I couldn't change it. I could only go off Steve Owen's advice, but in the first stint, my car was really quick. So a lot of the main drivers hopped out previous to that red flag, so they could really change setup. But we didn't change a lot. We changed brakes and filled the water up, and that was about it. So ideally, I said just before, I don't think the red flag should have anything touching the car. So from a sport point of view, I think hopefully someone listens and they change it, because it's a silly rule. Well done at Bathurst. Everyone who knows anything about motorsport knows you were hard done by. Question: with Penske coming on board with DJR next season, do you think that there is a possibility that he may bring interest from Ford Racing in the US, given the relationship? Basically, do you think it would be possible for Ford Australia to wind down their involvement and for Ford US to step in instead? The way it works is effectively Ford US sponsor us anyway, so it doesn't matter. The funding's global, so whether it comes from Australia or US, ultimately it all comes from the same bank account type thing. So it's great that Penske come in, because they do have a good relationship there, and the way they could be stronger is they could put pressure on them through their NASCAR program, I guess, or things like that, where we're purely just one race team. We don't have the power to say, okay, we'll pull another category or this or that. So, and plus, I think Penske owns quite a few Ford dealerships and stuff. So B2B, he, business-wise, he's got a lot of power. So hopefully, it doesn't get to that. Hopefully, Ford see the weekend and see the success for what it is and how popular motorsport is. And, even driving the FGX around was a pretty special thing, launching the car there and just cruising across the top of the mountain and people cheering you on. So it's a big thing. I think, again, Bathurst really hits home how important our the legacy of Ford is. So hopefully it doesn't get to that. Did you feel your car was strong enough at the end of the race, or was it a bit of a handful? Great recovery. I think my car was pretty good, to be honest. It was just taking 1 or 2 laps to get the rear tyre to where I wanted it, but we had the pace to win, there's no doubt, at the end, and unfortunately didn't get the opportunity. But it's is what it is. But we had pace to go to the end, we had fuel to go to the end. Everything was looking okay. Congratulations to the team for going back to back. I'd like to know whether you had enough fuel to make it to the end of the race with the leaders if you hadn't been spun by Craig. The commentary claimed you were fuel compromised along with Jamie. The commentary is interesting. Even Scave said that Lance didn't mean to hit me. So unless they have some telepathic power to each other, they know a lot, the commentators, when they probably don't know a lot, to be honest. But whether I had fuel or not, I know how much fuel I had. My team know how much fuel I had. The commentators had no idea. So, I was okay. But anyway, didn't get to that. It is what it is. So it's interesting sometimes when you listen to the commentators say things, they know a lot of what's going on a lot of the time. Well done on your amazing effort. Is there any one thing that you would have changed if you had your time to do Bathurst again? There's probably a few things, but Bathurst is Bathurst. Yeah, everyone's got the hindsight story, and everyone would have probably changed something. But the end result is something that you don't want to change. To see Chaz win it, everything that happened was a crazy day, and he won the one lap at the end. That was the lap that you needed to win, and the end result was great. It was great to go into work today and see everyone celebrate the trophy, and we lined up the trophies. Dave's second, my win from last year, Chaz's win from this year, and sort of the progression that we've had at Bathurst. We've had a great 3 years there, and if I can't win, I'm so glad he won. So I've changed some things, but a 1-2 would have been probably the only thing I would have liked to change. But other than that, great result for the team. So you don't want to change too much because it could have been a lot worse than what it was. If Lowndes hadn't spun you round, where do you think you'd have realistically finished? I think we could have won it, but you had that opportunity gone and taken. So what I think and what would have happened might be two different things. But I had good speed. I could punch out 2:07s again at the end of the race, which was definitely quick enough, and that was driving pretty conservative. So I think we could have won it, but it is what it is. Great weekend. Were you happy with your car as all 4 FPR cars look quick? Was speed just due to track, or has the team made gains? It was we actually had 5 cars, so we were the only team to run 5 cars, and we had 5 cars in the top 8 at one stage. So I don't know why the cars were quick. We made a few little improvements that hopefully carry on for the rest of the year, but the car was actually really nice to drive. So the tyre pressures, I think, may have helped our team and hurt other teams. I think our car was the best it's been for quite some time, obviously. So, hopefully it's not just track surface. We'll see when we get to Gold Coast, and we'll see when we get to Phillip Island. But I think we may have found a little bit, and it was nice to have a good car anyway. Congrats on a cracker drive. It could so easily have been you up on the top step. I'm interested in the clever call under the second last safety car to drop back into pit lane for extra litres of fuel. I thought it was a masterstroke, but for the next safety car, that changed the game again. Whose call was it? How did it unfold? Also, how confident were you of lasting 27 laps if the safety car didn't reappear? It's a good call. My engineer, Shippy, called me in. When I got done over by the queuing, he said, just trust me, I'll get you back up to the front. And I knew what he was doing because I sort of didn't want to broadcast it, but I knew what he was going to do. And coming for fuel, went out again, drove to some pretty strict numbers. I think we would have made it to the end, because at that point I could have afforded to lose 4 to 5 seconds a lap at some stage, which is probably 1 litre a lap or something. And a lap at Bathurst, I would have had to do that probably 10 times to get to the end. So pit lane is 30 plus seconds plus the fuel that you put in. So I had about 40 seconds up my sleeve. So you sort of do the math. It could have worked out potentially. So who knows? But there was always going to be a safety car, and that would have been when you conserve your fuel massively. So anyway, the safety cars come out, and that sort of ruined that whole thing. Did the new rule regarding minimum tyre pressure have much of an effect on performance? The pressures definitely make a difference, but when you get to the Gold Coast, it's going to be a massive difference. The soft tyres, they're going to be horrible. So at Bathurst, you got away with it a bit because of the track surface, but at Gold Coast, going to be absolutely horrible. But saying that, We pump the tyres up purely because we've got a pretty average tyre. The Dunlop tyre is not that great. So we pump them up to try and stop them from delaminating. And yeah, there's still issues there with them pumped up. So I'm not sure what the solution is. I know what the solution is, but I'm not sure what is going to happen in the next few years. But pumping the tyre pressure up is not what's fixing the tyre issues. So hopefully they can manufacture a little bit better and have a little bit more consistent process. But it's going to play massive at Gold Coast. You'll wait till you see them there, and you don't get any more tyres and they degrade twice as quick. So it's going to be ugly, but same for everyone. And hopefully there's ways that people aren't fudging the numbers, because it is quite open how they govern it. But yeah, hopefully we're strict to the rule, but hopefully everyone else is, because you get a big gain if you try and fudge the numbers. Are you going to Melbourne on Friday for the final Falcon commercials? I'm not sure about that one. I think doing something on Friday with Ford, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. So maybe that'll be it. Did you have enough fuel to race as hard as the others at the end before you were tagged? Who in your eyes was at fault? For me getting hit in the back, pretty sure it was Lowndes, I guess, if that's what you mean. And we had enough fuel to race. Yeah, definitely we're fine to the end. So, yeah, that sort of answers that question, I guess. If you were in Jamie's shoes, would you have listened to your team or did what he did? I was in his shoes and I listened to my team, but he at the same time, I'm pretty impressed with what he did, to be honest. So to push on and to try and win the race, that was pretty brave, because there's a massive consequence if you don't get there. So, but yeah, I listened to the team. They tell you exactly what numbers you need to hit, and they know. We don't have a little gauge in the car like the road car where it says 20k to go or 10k to go or whatever it is. We get pipped for fuel when it's absolutely out of fuel. So if you don't listen to your team, you inevitably you're going to run out. There's always margin for error, and there's an error in numbers. It could be 1% higher or 1% lower. Yeah, he actually got further than I thought he would. So he could have easily saved fuel and got home. So I'm surprised that that he didn't listen to the number, I guess. When you did the lap in the FGX, were you driving it like a qualifying lap or just enjoying the ride? I actually was just after I hopped out the race car, so I drove it and was probably going a bit quicker than I thought I'd be going. So yeah, had a few moments in it, but the people in it were pretty excited. They reckon they're going to buy one, so we got up in a bit. I think we were told 160 down the straight, and at one point we're at 240 or something. So sort of it's going a bit quicker than we thought, but no, it was good. It's good fun, and going across the top of the mountain, we're a bit sideways at points, but no, it was good fun. What are your thoughts on Whincups start? I believe I have never seen such a blatant jump start ever. It's ridiculous, but when you're at the back, you guess you get away with it, but yeah, it was a ridiculous start. He went before anyone even moved, so yeah, crazy. It's I don't know why he wouldn't have got a drive through for that, but anyway, it's a long race, means nothing, but he was going to get through anyway. But yeah, I've never seen a bigger jump start in my life, so yeah, he's pretty lucky. But you get away with them, you do well. Do the teams all get together after the race for a beer? Not really. Our team itself do, but in terms of other teams, you don't really get together for a beer. They often have like after parties or whatever, and some guys do, but this is mainly the team. The team go and hang out and celebrate, and after Bathurst, they hang together and have a celebration. So yeah, it's mainly the teams that pretty well hang out together. The car looks speedy. Do you think you'll be able to qualify on the pointy end over the next 3 races? I hope we can. I hope we've found something, but I hope it's not just a one-track thing. But it's hopefully it stays up there. What are your thoughts on Foxtel taking over the broadcast, and what will it mean for the viewers? I think it's good. I think it's good that Foxtel are taking it up, I think the coverage is going to be great. Hopefully, they come in at a good price point, and and then that'll be good for the sport. I think I think it's going to be really cool having Foxtel in-car cameras for every car and all the things that go with it. But it's probably more about the price and making sure it's not too high. If they get that right, it's going to be really good. I'll finish up pretty soon, but as a driver, how did you rate the race? I thought it was pretty average, to be honest, at some points. There was points sitting in the garage when the red flag was out, and then safety car after safety car. It was quite boring, and at points, and then it all come alive. The last 20 laps was pretty intense. It's probably the best last 20 laps of a race you'll ever see. So it's it was a whole day of fiddling around with safety cars and all that sort of stuff. But at the last 20, it really lit up, and I thought it was pretty cool actually at the end. So as a spectator, I was watching or heard Chazzy pass Whincup for the win, and that was really cool to see the fans go up and stuff. So it always happens at Bathurst. It can drag on a bit, but then that last 20 laps is the best racing you'll ever see. So it was pretty cool at the end. What do we got? We'll do one more. Can't even talk. One more. Just wondering if you, and I know that guys aren't millionaires, if you or in the future a legacy project or foundation you would like to do. Love the child safety stuff. My boy Cooper 6 thinks you're all fantastic. Hopes to meet you on the Gold Coast. Thanks, mate. Bring him round. We'll say hello. It'd be good to meet you, boy. I guess we do a fair bit already in fundraisers and stuff, but foundation is something that we would be pretty, I guess, keen to do. We love kids and stuff, and there's some pretty already some pretty good charities and stuff out there, foundations. But it is something that that we definitely will look into. All right, well, we'll come up. I actually got a prize. I always give away something. I thought Bathurst was pretty fitting that I give this away. Unfortunately, it's not a 2014 winning helmet, but it is a 2013 winning helmet. So there's that one. So we'll give that one away. But I'm only going to give it away to people who like my page, because I gave away a fair bit of stuff and people don't actually like my page, and there's a lot of good followers that probably should be winning it over the people that don't like it. So I'm going to throw out the question. Are we going to do the first to answer?
First to answer, but we have to be able to type their name.
All right, so it's first to answer, and we have to be able to type your name. And the only way we can type your name is by you liking it. So we know if you're sneaky and you're trying to get on and win a prize and not liking the page. So this helmet, I'm going to ask you a question. Who are my current personal sponsors? Remember, this is a 2013 helmet. I'm talking about 2014. So good luck. First to answer wins, but you have to like the page. So thanks again, everyone. Great support, and great result. Awesome for Chazzy. He's a really, really good young kid, and he deserves to win it. So thanks, guys. We'll keep trying to win this championship, and let's rough them up on the Gold Coast. Thanks, guys.